Remember what I told you, right? Yeah, what was it? It's called Man Business. What started as just a rap feud, yeah, it escalated into a full-on personal war. 50 Cent dragged T.I.'s family into the mix, flipping a music rivalry into a viral, jaw-dropping showdown. Millions watched as lines got crossed, respect got shredded, and the stage was set for something way more intense. Let's rewind for a second, because this didn't just pop up overnight like some random internet rumor with zero receipts. Nah. The tension between 50 and T had been simmering for years, mostly tied to talks about a verse battle that never actually went down. For those who don't know, VRs was that live-streamed Hit For It series that had the culture locked in during the pandemic. It gave us legendary matchups. You had everyone on Instagram Live debating catalogs, and at one point, the idea of 50 Cent facing off against T. That was very much real talk. And according to Tip himself, this wasn't some blog gossip or a Twitter fan-made story. They actually chopped it up face-to-face. T.I. says they were both in LA, working on TV moves. And, naturally, the verse convo came up like it was the obvious next play. I'm talking real, Tip said. We laid it all out. He explained how the plan went. He would step up first, get the streets buzzing, set the hype, and then 50 would slide in after him to lock it down. Simple, straightforward, no smoke. But here's where things went sideways. When T put the word out publicly, 50 supposedly switched up, acting like none of their talks ever happened. Tip says that's when the bridge broke between them. Not because Fitzy didn't want the battle if he had just kept it real and said, nah, I'm good. Tip would have respected it. But to dap him up, agree to the plan, then act clueless when it was time to roll. That was the betrayal. That was the snake move. And that, right there, is what it was really about. Now T.I.'s questioning the character of someone he thought he could trust. You'd think he'd just casually drop this on one podcast and let it slide, right? Nah, fam. T went on multiple platforms, including that $1 Million Game podcast, and he said it straight from the chest. No coding. He told the world he had zero interest in sharing a stage with 50 Cent. That chapter was closed. I don't want to stand on stage with him. I have no interest. That's done, he said. But then he dropped the line that really set the tone for everything that followed. I don't respect it. Now, if you know anything about 50 Cent, really know how Curtis Jackson operates, you already know what time it was. Because Curtis isn't the type to just hear someone say, I don't respect you, on a podcast, and let it slide. That ain't his style. Never has been. And the receipts go back decades. Let's be real. 50 Cent has been running up on folks like this his whole career, and every single beef follows the same blueprint. Someone says something slick, 50 fires back, it escalates. And one side either taps out or gets cooked in the fallout. Always has been, always will be. From the Ja Rule wars in '99 to the game in the mid-2000s, to Rick Ross, Puffy, litter anybody who dared to speak out of line sometimes over the tiniest things. Take Rick Ross for example. Tony Yao, 50's Day One, Goonit's Soldier, broke it down on Club Shay Shay. Ross and 50. Their beef kicked off because 50 didn't say what's up to him. That's just a New York thing. A man didn't acknowledge another at an award show, and suddenly years of diss tracks and personal jabs followed. That's the ecosystem we're in. So when T went on national platforms and publicly declared he didn't respect 50 Cent, there was zero chance that was going to slide. 0.50 hopped on Instagram, told T to keep his name out of his mouth, and started calling out Atlanta artists for not backing him consistently. Just like that, what had been a simmering back about a music battle turned into something far more volatile. The energy shifted, the temperature rose, and 50 reached into that same bag he's been pulling from for over 25 years. Whenever someone pokes the bear, here's the key. When 50 Cent comes for you, he doesn't just come for you. He comes for everything around you, your career, your reputation, your past, your skeletons, and yes, your family. He did it to Rick Ross, targeting Ross, baby mama. He did it to Puffy with documentaries, exposing private moments. And now, in February 2026, he was gearing up to do it to T, in the most personal, disrespectful, below-the-belt way imaginable. And that leads us to the moment that flipped everything upside down. The moment a rap beef turned into a full-blown family war. On February 22nd, 2026, 50 Cent made a move that sent the entire internet into a frenzy. And honestly, if you know how Curtis operates, you should have seen it coming when the OPS got personal. But before we dive into what happened next, you need to understand who we're talking about when we say King Harris' mom, Tama Tiny. Harris isn't just T.I.'s wife. She isn't some random civilian caught in the crossfire of a rap feud. Tiny Harris is Grammy-winning vocalist from the legendary R&B group X-Capa, group moving units and selling out shows, back when half the people leaving comments on Instagram weren't even a thought in their parents' minds yet. She married T.I. in 2010, and together they built a family that includes their son, King Harris, born in 2004. This is a woman with her own legacy, her own accolades, entirely separate from whatever beef is going on between her husband and the dude from South Jamaica, Queens, and that's exactly why what 50 did next had the whole internet losing it. On February 22, 2026, 50 Cent posted a wild, unflattering photo of Tiny Harris straight to Instagram. And when I say unflattering, I'm being polite. The image showed Tiny performing in a revealing outfit, her skirt hiked up in a way that was clearly meant to embarrass her and get under T's skin. In the caption, 50, doubling down like always. Keep my name out your mouth. The reaction? Instant. Outlets like Hot New Hip Hop and Complex blew it up, calling the move messy, personal, and a straight violation of the unspoken rules in hip-hop culture. You know the code: dice a man's bars, question his street cred, critique his career, but you don't drag his woman into it. You don't bring a civilian into a fight she had no part in. But 50 Cent? He's never been one to follow unwritten rules. Dunn built an empire on the idea that nothing's sacred, nothing's off limits when he goes to war. That mindset is exactly what makes him one of the most dangerous people to beef with in this game. And that brings us to King Harris. Because if you thought the post of Tiny was the explosion, nah, that was just the fuse. The real detonation came from King himself. Born August 2004, T.I. and Tiny's son has been in the public eye since day one, growing up on reality TV, watching his parents navigate fame, drama, and battles at the highest level. When he saw what 50 posted about his mom, King didn't pause. He didn't count to 10. He didn't ask anybody for advice. He went straight to Instagram Live and went off a profanity-laced, no-holds-barred rant defending his mother. What he said was so raw, so aggressive, and so deeply personal that it shook the internet from coast to coast. And let me be clear, King wasn't just going at 50 Cent the rapper. He wasn't just going at 50 Cent the businessman or TV producer. He went at 50 Cent the orphan. He went at Curtis Jackson's deepest wound. King repeatedly brought up 50's deceased mother, Sabrina Jackson, who died in a suspicious fire when Curtis was just 8. He told 50 to go dig up your dead mama, even posting a photo of a tombstone with the caption, "This where your mama at." The names King called Sabrina were so vile, I can't even repeat them here, but he wasn't done. He contrasted 50's late mother with his own mother, calling Tiny a legend, a queen, a Grammy winner, and painted the comparison in a way that gave him the moral high ground. Thought the result? It went stupid viral within hours. Clips flooded Instagram, Reels, and YouTube, racking up millions as the culture tried to process the intensity of what just went down. Now, think about what everyone had just witnessed, State. 21-year-old, going off on a live stream like that. And here's the thing about the internet. When something like this pops off, people pick sides fast. The reaction was split right down the middle. On one side, folks were saying King was 1000% right to ride for his mom like that. If someone publicly disrespects your mama, you got every right to go nuclear. On the other side, people were saying that bringing up a man's dead mother, someone who was taken from this world when he was just a kid, crosses a line you never ever touch. Period. Full stop. One commentator perfectly summed up the absurdity of how fast this escalated. Technical fouls on everybody. How did we even get here from a versus battle? And that's dead on. Somehow, in just a few days, we went from 2 OGs debating a music showdown, 2 tombstones, dead mothers, and family members being dragged all through the digital mud. We just wanted 20 songs versus 20 songs. Now people are getting called federal informants, and families are caught in the crossfire. That's the piece that had everybody shook. But here's the thing, 50 Cent didn't meet King's energy. He didn't go live, screaming into a camera. He didn't post a 20-minute emotional rant. Nah, he did what 50 always does when someone comes at him hot. He trolled the situation into oblivion. He dropped a Pepe the Frog meme on Instagram with a single caption, "Lol." No words, just a laughing cartoon frog aimed at King. That was it. And if you've been watching how Curtis Jackson operates for 20 years, you know that was more devastating than any rant or diss track. The message: you're not even worth getting upset over, little bro. But then came the clip that had everyone in their timeline losing it. The one that made people sit up and go, "Oh, Biff is on Demon Time." 50 Cent shared an AI-edited clip from the 2006 movie ATL, which T starred in. In this version, 50's face is deep-faked onto a character who casually rolls up on a young guy. The dialogue: a direct shot at King Harris. "What's up, Ant? Ain't heard from you in a while?" The AI 50 slid up like a seasoned OG, checking in on a little homie he hasn't seen in a minute. Mad casual. Then the conversation shifts. "Remember what I told you? Grow man business? Grow man business." 4 words. That was the whole message. Fall back, little bro. This isn't your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your weight class. And the clip wraps up with a finishing line that was equal parts comedy and menace. Grown man? Boy. Just like that, 50 weaponized AI, flipped a movie T starred in, and delivered a message that was funny, low-key threatening, and perfectly calculated all at once. Some called it genius trolling. Others said it was creepy and out of pocket. But one thing's certain, Everybody was talking about it. That's always been the play for Fifth. He doesn't need to win the moral argument, he just needs to dominate the attention game. And he stays undefeated at that. At this point, you might have thought things were about to die down. Maybe after the meme, the AI deepfake, and King's initial explosion. Both sides would catch their breath and realize this had gone way too far. But nah, if you thought that, you clearly don't know these guys. Never let them see you rattled, but at the same time, make sure they know you're always watching, always ready to strike back. If someone crossed you or did something that made me feel like I had to handle it, I wouldn't stop. And that, right there, is the fine line between entertainment and something way darker than rap bars and Instagram posts. You feel me? Because once you cross that line, we're done with the rap. No more music. We're stepping into something else entirely.